Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and welcome to the show. Once again, I am your host and MC, Pennybags. Today we've got Buildcraft power for you. What we're looking at here are Stirling engines. Buildcraft is pretty good for the early game, in my opinion. It's easy to get. It's pretty easy to control if you don't go crazy. You might notice that my levels are a little bit lower than they were last time. I did eat it in some lava, thankfully. I was able to save almost all of the hard resources. Did lose a fair amount of redstone and coal, which is unfortunate because we were going to be using coal to make diamonds. I actually have made a bunch of charcoal here to power these basic furnaces. But let's jump right into the Buildcraft. We're going to be getting two machines, a Pulverizer and an Induction smelter, and we're going to be powering them with Stirling engines, which are generally run on coal or buckets of lava or whatever. So what we're going to need to start off is a wrench. Now, a wrench comes in handy. It's used in almost all of these sort of industrial machines. And we're actually going to need 3 of these, 1 for the wrench and 2 for a Stirling engine. So the 1 for the wrench is pretty simple. We actually need to turn these into stone gears. Gears are used a lot, so remember this. 4 sticks in that pattern makes a wooden gear. Now, 4 pieces where the sticks were around a gear of a lower tier will make a higher tier gear. So our wooden gears become stone gears. Now I need to take 1 of these stone gears and I need to put iron around it like so. 2 in the 1 and 3 spots in the first row, and in the 8th spot in the 3rd row around a stone gear gives us a wrench. Now wrenches are used to manipulate items. To pull power out of our Stirling engines, which I guess we should go ahead and make that now, it's a piston with 2 stone gears on the side, a piece of glass above the piston, and cobblestone across the top row. That will give us a Stirling engine. So we're going to have 3 engines. That means we're going to need at least 3 wooden conductive pipes because we're pulling power out. Now, what I'm going to get are 8 wooden transport pipes for that 1 piece of glass, and I know I need to make 3 of them conductive. Now, something we will learn is we will be trying to use a redstone energy conduit in the future, so we're going to minimize the number of these Buildcraft pipes we make. We're also going to need, probably, I would say, at least 8, and I'm doing this totally wrong, golden pipes, which we also need to make conductive. So that's a piece of glass with 2 pieces of gold along the row. That'll give us 8 golden transport pipes, and we just need to make all of these conductive. That will carry our power. Just 1 wooden pipe is required to pull the power out of something, and then it will flow along golden conductive pipe at a later point. So we have our wrench, we have our Stirling engine, we have our wooden transport pipe. I guess we need to build the machine that these are going to power. The first one we need is a Pulverizer. It's going to require a machine frame and a redstone reception coil. Their recipes are as shown. Now, the second machine we're going to build is actually going to need 1 of these as well. So we're going to go ahead and build 2 of them. Now, using the inventory tweaks, laying out the items is actually very easy. You can see the manipulation of the objects really isn't a problem here. And so we're making 2 of those. Now, for the redstone reception coil, that is going to be a piece of gold in the very center with redstone at the 3 and 7 spots. Give us a redstone reception coil. Now, we're going to need 1 more piston. I haven't shown you how to make one of those. It's actually pretty simple. I bet you've made one of these before, but if you haven't, you will remember this recipe because it's used a lot. Actually, we'll probably make an automatic crafting table to do this for us sometime here in the very near future because I'm sick of this recipe. Alright, so we've got a piston, a machine frame, a redstone reception coil. Now, we were going to need 2 pieces of copper along the bottom and 2 pieces of flint along the side. Sweet. Alright, that gives us our Pulverizer. Now we can go set up our power system. And I guess we need fuel. Don't forget, you always need fuel to power things. And we'll keep this nice and simple. So you can place an engine anywhere in the world. Boom. and the wrench will rotate them. You notice this one can't change because it only has one viable input, this other engine. Now this engine will switch because it has two viable inputs. Now we don't want these engines to get jealous, so we might as well make them all equals as it was intended by the Buildcraft gods. And these guys can decide to interface with this wooden block. Alright, so that the wooden conductive pipe will pull the power out of these machines. Next we need conductive pipe, and we're going to run it along this back wall. I decided to put the engines down too because something we will find pretty soon is that these guys need a redstone signal to be turned on, and they need that signal to be at the top of their block. So if you don't know the recipe for a lever, it's pretty simple: a stick on top of a piece of cobblestone. Now this will power our machines. They do not have any fuel, so they cannot run, and it would not be wise to run them without having something for them to go into, like our pulverizer. Now when we open up the pulverizer, we have a couple of options. This is how many MJ per ticket's getting. This is the redstone control, so we have a few options: just enabled when it's low, never, always, needs a high, low signal, disabled, ignored. Alright, so we can just leave it on its default setting. And the second one we have is a configuration tab. These colors correspond with these inputs or outputs. Red and yellow in this case are outputs, and blue is an input. So we're going to go ahead and leave it as is for now, because it really has nowhere to go. So it'll just sit inside here if it has nowhere to go. But we're sure this is connected. We go ahead and put a few pieces of charcoal in these machines, and they will start to run and power this machine. We'll actually be able to see the effect. It's pretty good. It makes it very clear what's going on. Alright, and the little green line of power is going to our machine, which you can see here on the left is how much power is in the machine. Every tick, every time these engines pump, this gets a tick. Now, the Stirling engine's very reliable and will pretty well run at a blue phase for a very long time. Something we're going to need is we're going to need pulverized ferrous ore for our next piece, and we're also going to need pulverized iron. Alright, we have both of those. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and drop this ferrous ore into the pulverizer and look at it work. It's being powered by the engines. You'll notice there's no coal or lava in this machine. Alright, pretty simple. What we're going to need for this is our machine block. We're actually going to need a bucket, if I remember correctly. I'll show you the recipe in a second. Alright, sweet, a bucket. Let's go ahead and look this up. This is NEI. If it was off for some reason, like this, and this is what your screen looks like, you just press O and it will open up. I'm in recipe mode, so I can look up the smelter. We're looking for an induction smelter. So it needs invar ingots. In order to make invar ingots, we're going to need this pulverized ferrous metal as well as some pulverized iron. So that's been pulverized. We're going to need 1, 2. That should be enough, actually. Alright. So 2 pieces of iron and 1 piece of the ferrous metal will get us what we need. 2 pieces of iron, 1 piece of ferrous metal will give us this handy dandy invar blend, which we're probably going to be using a lot of, and we can just throw these in your traditional furnace. Pick you back up, come on. And into the smelter you go. Alright, so after that, I think we have all the other component pieces. We just have to wait for this furnace. Now, after you see this, we're going to be having a very good effect. Let's go ahead and make 1 extra chest, just so that you can see part of the automation. I don't know if I'm going to have enough. Oh, son of a gun. I love making 7 chests when I need 1 chest. Alright. And the invar is ready. Okay, so we've got our 2. We need a machine frame, a redstone conductance coil, a bucket on top, another 2 copper ingots, and 2 invar. Oop. This is going to give us our induction smelter, which is a sweet piece of equipment. We're also going to take with us some sand. Yes, sand is required in use of the induction smelter. What the induction smelter do is going to multiply our ore. So we put sand inside it. It actually needs to go in the purple slot. Purple is what it's being inducted with. Red is where it's going, which is going to be this output chest. And then all we need is some raw ore. We'll use our copper and tin to get started. So I'll go ahead and drop the tin ore in, and it's going to, because the output on this configuration is red, the red stuff moves to the right, and on here it is also red, this red stuff will move to the right. Now we're going to have to set up a simple system. Actually, having the extra chest on hand, we can do this. This will go ahead and say, yes, move any waste products which arrive in the yellow up into this chest, and move any other waste products. They're not always waste products. Oh, but what's this? You'll see we have 6 ingots. We only put 3 ore in, but we get 6 ingots out. That's because the induction smelter turns 2 of the pulverized metal into 2 additional ingots. So you're going to double your ore with this setup. A pulverizer, an induction smelter, is going to give you, and the induction smelter just makes it really fast. You could just go ahead and use a regular furnace with this pulverized metal. You can see I can put 1 ferrous metal into a normal furnace, but I can come over here, I can drop this ferrous metal into this, and boom, I've got 2 ingots. And if I come over here, oh, there, it's almost done. Alright, so it's pretty close, but this thing can make the ore way, way faster, and this is still now has burned and is using energy when it doesn't need to. Alright, now that this is finished, we turn this off, and that's the setup. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is going to be the basic, super, super simple setup. If you guys haven't seen this before, I'm sure you enjoy it. Alright, well, if you guys liked it, just leave a comment or a like, and I'll see you guys next time. Good game.